Welcome back, everyone. So Nats is actually pretty closer than I had anticipated. So this upcoming ban list is actually going to be more of a discussion around how nationals for this year is going to be playing out. I have Daniel with me as always. He has plenty of opinions about the format we're leaving, the format we're going into, and these are just kind of the top offenders for this upcoming ban list and discussion. So I play a ton of Master Duel, so my opinions might be a little different than Daniel's on how some of these cards interact with the current format. And I'm very curious to see what his opinions are, and hopefully you guys are too. Um, the first card is a yummy card. How do we feel about this one?
Oh, Marshmallow?
Yeah,
Put it in limited.
limited. Okay, so
Like
I
absolute.
I'm
So
not I'm not the hugest fan of consistency hits. Can you elaborate why you think limited is the answer here?
okay, so the first thing about Marshmallow is like that card's just Cyber Dragon or a free special summon, right? When you don't have anything. So like that already is like a one card starter in itself without your normal summon and the yummy deck. The other thing is that this also takes away their loopability. So like a lot of the time like when you played Yummy, you're always like looping surprise and stuff or like the field spells. So it's your rate of recursion. So if you only have one, you always have access to it because of either the regular cup C or the cup C Yummy way. So that makes it so like it's always consistent, but you're not using it as a starter card. So like you're forced to play more normal summons like Cookie and Lollipop.
Interesting. Okay, because like I just feel like you either ban it or you just let it exist. I don't think consistency hits generally work.
Yeah, like so like so in reality, right? Like you could probably should ban this card, but like I don't think Konami's gonna like hit this card to zero because this is a new card still. So like I think putting this at one is like reasonable.
Okay, so you think it's reasonable more from a business perspective too.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, wait. This is gonna bug me all video if I don't do it now. I am of the opinion that all three of the Charmies are unlimited.
I'm also in the agreement too because the thing is that unlike Maxi, where that card says every time you draw, right, you put in your special summon. These ones are super specific and they're deck dependent. So what I mean by that is depending on how like certain decks are functioned and how they special summon. So if you main deck one of them, right, and then they play the wrong mechanic, then that card's dead. But so it's Falls for effort probably be forever like a main deck staple moving forward, but Perulia and Meows will probably stay in the side deck unless like certain meta games make those cards main deckable.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm a huge fan of these cards. I think the biggest difference for at least for me compared being like Maxi to the Charmy cards is that the Charmy cards all have the text that says you cannot control anything. But so
Oh, that's the
I
other
I
thing I
love
want
that.
to. That's another thing I want to talk about too. Is that these also promote going second strategies.
Yeah, and like I think the worst feeling, especially like coming from a Master Duel perspective, I know the Maxi card is now at a one, but like getting Maxied while going into a full board, tragic. I hate that. That is probably one of the most like non-game feelings I have playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's like, not only do I need to crack this board and try to win this turn, but my opponent is also drawing infinite, so I have to win.
Yeah, so like so like having more charmies existing like makes super fair Yu-Gi-Oh in the grand scheme of things.
Right, cool. How do we feel about pre-prep?
So this is something about the TCG that's very interesting. Habakiri is at one in TCG, pre-prep is at three here, while in OCG, Habakiri is at three and pre-prep is at one, right?
Okay, so
So the question is, do you actually just hit both, like at this point? Because there's so many ways to get to Habakiri that's not pre-prep that like you might as well just do that, right? Because pre-prep also just searches any ritual with the name in it, right? So it can search you any of the other Mitsurugi cards plus mirror, right? And I've seen people like from from Vegas, they're all like now thinking about playing two mirrors so their pre-preps are not dead.
yeah, I think the era of generic cards is gonna get toned down. Recently, Master Duel, we saw Synchro Overtake get put to one, and that's a fairly generic card. And I can definitely foresee like cards like Pre-Prep or like even Advanced
Yeah,
Recall or like those cards going
yeah,
to
like
one because
and
generic
then
is dead
we've
now.
And we've also seen like in like Yu-Gi-Oh's past, right? The regular preparation of whites went to one because of Necroz. So like putting pre-prep to one in TCG and keeping Kapakiri on one is justified. If you want to like, if the structured decks are like, continuing to be there, Habakiri's at one, not a limited. We,
Yeah.
we we
Okay.
keep it there. We keep it there. No, like as in like Habakiri it stays limited.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oops. The
It's
page
okay.
like
Yeah,
glitched
yeah,
out for
fine.
a second. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, you're good.
I think this one's what, 5 mana?
I meta, yeah. So the Draco Tail. So this is what gives Draco Tail like the turn zero like capability. Um. So I have been a lot of discussions about this card and other cards in the Draco Tail deck to hit. And honestly, at least how I see it, because I played the deck myself, 5 mana stays unlimited. And I just it's a hot take actually.
No, actually, I can agree with you because like I am a huge fan of in archetype engine playable going second cards. Like Lab does it. I know that K9 cards do it. This is fine. I think in engine hand trap archetypes, that's the full
So
mechanic I really like.
right. So I do want to talk about this because Radio Collection 5 just got released, right? So this got massively reprinted. So I think in a perfect world where if you want to play more fair Yu-Gi-Oh, because OCG did this to Azuna, Fameta gets semi-limited because it makes it so that you can keep all the Dracotail names, but there's a less of a frequency to resolve it to zero, especially when Charmy's involved. But however, if you want to do like a more realistic approach, you keep 5 mana unlimited, but you put Urgula to one, if not ban it.
Yeah. Is Argilla on this little tier list maker? I don't see it.
No, it is not.
Okay, so
It's the
in
one
this
that's
context.
possible in this context. Like, and the reason why I think we think this is probably going to be the case is because Urgula in the mirror match or like any other deck lets you break boards, right? Like when you split that card at three, and then it gives the deck recurability, to recycle back 5 mana. So when you take that card away from the deck, you not only lost the ability to bop spells and traps, but you also lost the deck's ability to grind. So it becomes like this. Jiggletip then becomes like a really like not great glass cannon deck in reality, and you're forced to play it a certain way then. So, but if we were to keep like all the cards like available and like but with cards just being reprinted, like 5 mana at two would probably be realistic.
Okay. And then how do we feel about the rabbit? I'm of the opinion this is an unlimited for sure. I don't see this card as a problem at all.
Okay, so there's a couple things that people don't realize is that this is a card that helps you beat breakers. So like, this gives you like access to the Apophis cards post side, which you have a chance to beat the cards like Dark Ruler, Evenly Matched, Droplet. Um, but but having this card existing, right, makes it so that you can activate those traps and set them from your deck immediately. Um, so it makes it so that everyone has like a technically a realistic backup plan to breakers when you're getting comboed or get your hand getting hand trapped to death. But in all honesty, again, this card stays unlimited because you kind of need an answer to those cards because if you don't, then like all cards get power crept. So um
Well,
yeah, this card
I personally have an issue with hand traps and board breakers being just so powerful. Like
right
the escalation of like board breakers from like 5 years ago compared to now has been pretty insane. Like when Evenly Match first dropped as a card, I was like, this card is absolutely absurd compared to like a board
yeah
breaker of now, which is like Crown or like Droplet even. Well, I mean Droplet's from the same era, but I'm just saying I think the power level of a board breaker has gone up so
yeah
significantly.
yeah
I think it's fine if this card exists for the most
yeah.
part,
It
simply
gives
because
it gives
those
everyone an
prices are low.
answer. It gives everyone an answer to board breakers if you're making a read on it. So having this as a utility piece is fine, but like this is one of those like if you play it as a preference thing, but it's probably going to stay unlimited until it becomes a problem.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see this as a problem because I don't think boards are getting hand trapped enough or going small enough to like justify like, okay, if I eat two hand traps, my next immediate play is like make rabbit and then hope I don't die. I don't think decks are doing that right now.
No, no, not like, the only deck that realistically does that is Yummy. If they get hand chipped that far, but like you're probably having Beansmith cards already if you're playing the conceived Yummy deck from Vegas. Um, All right, this next card, Lingeribo.
Oh,
So
okay.
like,
Before you start, my biased opinion is this. Fuck this card. Excuse my language,
uh,
but like as a traptic player,
no,
I hate Link Kuriboh.
yeah. So the other thing, this is meant for like cyber stacks. It gives them a custom cards into trap cards. Yeah, you should ban this card because like Link ones like this should not exist. Like obviously, right? Like everyone should have an out to what is it, Nightmare Crypto Iblis, whatever it's called, right?
I
But
remember
like
that.
if you get locked, but like there's not enough people playing that lock as well as this the card just this Linger even just negates trap cards. All trap decks should have a chance to play.
I agree. I agree. Like I don't like seeing this card when I'm playing Labyrinth at all. Like when Malice was super prevalent, I just knew as soon as I attempted to play on their turn with the furniture card or just like if I activated a dominance card, immediately they were just like they shifted from making a full board into at least including this specific Ling
Yeah,
Kuriboh, and I
yeah.
just
So
hated it.
like, yeah. So like, and then this also like ruins the consistency and ceiling of Malice because they just can't link their monster immediately.
Right. Okay, good.
So
I
I
like
think
I
I
like
saw
the
it,
direction for
so
this.
like the other thing is you don't have to hit Malice cards. You have to hit like the extra cards that enable the way the deck is being played, which I think is like justifiable.
Well, I mean, I think right now Malice is fine. Like their in engine is fine. Their not engine is not. And this is just
Yeah,
not
yeah,
engine
yeah.
when
No,
they don't agree.
but like I'm saying like the starter cards are they're not one card combos anymore.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. You need to have an extender.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Speaking of extenders, Joko.
But no, this card
Um,
is a bench, right? For sure. It's
no,
either
okay,
this or
so
Noroi, right? I hate Noroi. That
no.
Noroi as a
Oh,
card is a
think
problem.
so. We can talk about both those cards real quick. So as someone who has played Crystron and Vanquish Soul, like both the good K9 decks, I really just think that I think Joko is relatively like healthy in the sense that it's a card that lets you play through hand traps, and it's also like it's hand trap bait because they have to answer it, and then you make Ripper, and which makes Ripper live. Um, and then you get to search like like Izuna or like Lantern, right? But um, Joko should stay limited because this is the only card that there's only like this case of K9, which we'll get to, and three chaotic elements that get to it, and then any way to Ripper gets to this as well. Um, it it lets the K9 deck extend, which is what the deck needs. Because if you just play like a normal game with them, um, the hand traps don't feel good. So like it's keep it at one. It is also just so that like if the first action is like Joko, it's the worst because like you're eating at least 2 to 3 hand checks already before you committed a play, and you still have 3 cards in your hand still when this is happening. So it doesn't feel like great. I can talk about Noroi. Please ban it.
Okay,
Like please,
fantastic.
please, please, please ban it.
But the
Like
next card is not Noroi, right? Like is Noroi even in this little tier
yeah,
list?
it's in there. It's right there. It's right next to Retaliating Sea.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys
So I
matter.
want to talk about this because I've been like a big K9 player for like the past like 6 months or so. Um, why does this card tour guide and trap does shoot? This should not be a thing.
I agree. I
Like
feel like any
it
card that looks at your hand is toxic. I don't look at my hand.
like we've like there's trap does shoot and forceful sentry are banned for a reason. Even talents is that one. Like if this card is that searchable and it's tour guide, and even if it can't unlock you, you'll find a way to unlock yourself. Why would you make this card? Like this makes it like the Crystron deck is a 1 card combo deck that just spell cancels you. You take this card away from them, they can't spell cancel you. Um,
Music to my
and
ears.
then and then here's the other thing, right? Noroi is also a way to get to Saryuja in like a lot of decks, right? Especially when you have like Ripper access. So it's like you're resolving Saryuja while dodging a hand trap on top. And if you didn't hand trap Noroi, that meant you look at their hand and everything. Like it is dumb. Like so please ban it. Like I this is that is like a healthy choice for the game. Um Speaking of like Vanquish Soul, let's talk about Mad Love. Because that card is quite the interesting pick here.
Why is it so interesting? Because I feel like for the most part, like the the the, the Vanquish Soul cards are okay. I did the only problem card is Holy Suit because that one release made them super meta.
Yeah, so like just like raising, right? Mad Love is a way to get to like consistency pieces, right? So the field spell or the trap card. And it's like a random bounce. But I think really it's because you can have like different two like more consistent two combinations with Mad Love than with Raisin. So like I really like I think this card still stays like unlimited for whatever reason. But if you had to hit it, probably like semi limited at worst. Like because I do think that card is like very good in the grand scheme of things. Like even I played that card at 3 when I was playing Link for Soul back in Anaheim format. Um and then speaking of Anaheim format, the Yummy cards.
Okay, wait, hold on. I
Um,
already know. This card's got to go. And I'm only saying this not because it's broken or because Yummy deserves it. I think this limits future decks because what is the combo right now? You put two bodies, go Camellia, you dump, engage, then you go into Kagari, add back the engage, and then you go into Snatchy. Like, no, that's
yeah,
a
okay.
problem. That's a huge
Yeah,
problem.
okay. Okay. I can actually talk about this now. I think this card actually stays limited. The combo you just mentioned is for any other tuner, right? So if we're talking about specific Camellia, right? I think we just ban Horned Drones. Like, cause I've been preaching that card to be banned for the last like 6 years. Cause that card by design is like it enables like different combo decks to be free with striker cards, like for free monsters, right? And now like Camellia with Horned Drone, it's like resolving Nightmare Mermaid or like Moon in the Close Sky. Like those cards should not like those cards make bridgeable things exist for no reason. But Snatchy, you need like beast monsters to specifically make, and it enables the way Yummy has to interact. So I think the card is like fair in the grand scheme of things. Speaking of Cupsy, limit that card, please.
No, I agree. I think Cups is like one of the very few Yummy hits that's okay with being limited. I didn't agree with the Marshmallow card, but I will concede the point of Cups. I think Cups is a problem.
The cup like the fact that you had like some in some decks, right? Like it was three cup C and three previous map or whatever. You have shots of it, 6 ways to cup C, and then you had cup. And if you open just the regular normal sum, you had cup C yummy way just to search your regular cup C. That is just crazy, and then you just get surprised afterward. So like yeah. Oh, there's another Malice hit. Dormouse. That card
Uh,
stays limited.
yeah, I think this card's fine at one. It is I
This
think
card's fine.
arguably one of the better Malice cards, but if it's already at one, I have no qualms with it.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing is Draco Tail. I can actually talk about this now
Go
since
for it.
there's more of them. So Rahu. All right. So here's my thing. I really think that they're not gonna hit this card. Why? Because this is what makes the Draco Tail deck fair. Like having to dump from deck means you need to have like monsters in your hand to fuse with, which I think is fine. And then you also get locked on top. Like I get you probably Rahu was at one of its OCG, but they played with that deck for way too long, so I understand why they hit it. Like, but I think that card stays unlimited, quite honestly.
All right. How do we feel about Fender? Because like they recently put this
Uh,
card back to three in Master Duel, and I'm already dreading it.
I think in a Master Duel setting, it's really hard. That card's annoying to deal with. I think in TCG though, I think that card stays at 3.
You think so?
Um, yeah. So like, if we're talking about like the meta game, right? And then this also got reprinted in Rarity Collection. When we're looking at like a trend in engines, right? Like Konami likes to put stuff at full power still, even if it's power crept. So yeah, here's the thing. I played Fender in my side deck for Draco Tail, right? But it was a way to check hand trap wars when people are just hand trapping you to death. So like they use banish the normal summon to checks it. Um, do I like? I don't think the card's that powerful anymore. Like compared to it was in like cash format, but like it is like it is a necessity. It's like Pankratops. It's like it's a necessity somewhere in your side deck if you want to play it. I do think the unicorn needs to get banned because that card's toxic.
Yeah, I'm not a huge
Uh,
fan of the. Like I said, anything that peeks at my hand or deck, I don't like it. That card
yeah,
is toxic by nature.
yeah. Okay. So next thing is Althalion, right? This is like the choke point in all Driggletail decks that enable the engine. So I think you limit this card low key.
I'm more okay with limiting extra deck resources, simply because extra deck cards are just more accessible throughout the entire game compared to like something in the main deck. So I'm totally cool with the justification of this card going to one.
Cause I can attest to this too, cause I was playing Driggletail for the longest. And when I was playing like going second Driggletail, because I went second a lot, at most I'd make like one. and I won the game because I checkmated my opponent. And you just need this one card to resolve, and usually like you're winning. Um, and then you also have the traps and like chalice and like to shuffle the stuff card back anyway. So like if you're just better as a resource player, I think that's fine. And like we can talk about Lucius now because I think that's the next card I want to talk about. That's probably gonna get hit, probably to one.
Okay, well, before we get there, though, the reason why this is spread out is so we can talk about multiple things and come back and reference them in the future. So,
Right. Okay. Cool. Cool.
how
Cool.
do we feel about Lancia?
Lancia, I think could stay at three because that card comes in and out of formats all the time.
I also think this is the least problematic artifact card in recent years. Like we've had what Molnir, Scythus is a classic. I think
Yeah.
Lancia's
This
fine.
like Lancia only it's only for a turn unless it's loopable, and that you have to play a specific deck to do it. But then it's always a card that like comes in and outs of formats depending on what the meta deck is. So like in this case, like Malice was 2025, right? That was literally everyone's side deck. But the moment like Malice comes out of the picture, like the deck, like I'm not even citing it, like even though like Luna Light's everywhere. So it stays unlimited.
Well, I don't think Luna Light's a real threat, to be honest.
I hope not. But I think it's really good in like the hands of really strong players, like really, really, really good players. Otherwise, it's of course it's not a threat. Speaking of threats, Impulse.
I
Um,
love this card. Impulse is my favorite trap card printed in the most recent years.
uh, I think this card unfortunately is unlimited too, because this is like okay, so OCG has that card at two, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So
in the Philippines, in OCG and Asia English, Dominus Impulse is that too.
right. I think the way how TCG is, it's super combo heavy and there's no maxi. I think you need to have this card at three. It's a necessary evil, unfortunately, because like it gives like all like the rogue decks at the moment like a way to play with your opponent,
I
so
agree.
you can
I
get your
agree.
turn.
I
Yeah,
love this card. This card's staying three.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
this is me being biased as a Labyrinth player, but I think the restriction on all the Dominus cards, so you have to craft your deck around the one card, I think is very interesting in terms of like deck building. So I'm
yeah.
cool
I
if
think so too.
Impulse exists.
I'm super down for this too, actually. Um, so speaking of stuff, Mitsurugi prayers.
This is already at
So
one, right?
no, this card's at three in TCG because
Magic.
we still somewhat have Mitsurugi. I think in OCG this card's at one at the moment.
Yeah, that's why I questioned it.
So there's like a couple things that we can talk about, and it's depending on how you want to approach things. It's either you limit you suffer have like the consistency of Mitsurugi, but you keep its grind, or you let Mitsurugi start but hurt its grind. In this case, Mitsurugi pairs is what they call a grind card. So it's a matter of like, do you want to limit this or like pre-preparation of rights?
They're also getting a new ritual spell, are they not?
No.
No. Okay, I could
Um,
have sworn they were getting new support.
no, 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 no. Uh, like Mitsurugi in OCG is like there's no like the only support that they have is that new demise card that lets you like banish a ritual from your deck, right? A ritual spell.
Yeah.
But like that's another way for them to start with like two card combos. In this case, like you hurt prayers, that's another one card combo. They stop, so they probably limit this in the grand scheme of things.
Gotcha. I mean, like to me, prayers is like brand fusion for Mitsurugi.
Yeah, but like I said, it goes back to like what do you want to hit more, like pre prep or prayers? Like in this case, I probably like if you had to, right, you just keep pre prep unlimited and ban and limit prayers, but like it's one or the other at this point. But in this case, since we're doing a ban list discussion, limit both of those cards, I guess.
Okay, and then how do you feel about context? Because I know you play Drake Tail. I
Oh,
know you love
oh
that deck.
no, that's retaliating seed.
Oh, I'm sorry, retaliating C. How do you feel about retaliating C?
It's the same as Lancia. The card comes in and out of formats all the time. I think the card stays at three. Because the other thing I want to mention too is that like when I was testing for Vegas, we found out that like if let's say the Yummy deck retaliating sees the Dracotail player, um, the even if you like as long as like Dracotail has like disruptions, right? And the Yummy player has to normal summon a hand trap to make Camellia. That meant that like the Dracotail player now gets a chance to interact again, and you always wasted the normal summon. So retaliating C is actually just worse, in the Yummy deck, but it's really good in like the like decks that can play Di-Fi, like Vanquish Soul, Malice. Um, there's a plethora of Mitsurugi. There's a plethora of things. But this always comes in ins and outs of formats. And there's always like, and then the other thing too. Sometimes when you combo and when you build your deck, you just you can play around Brutality. See, by the time it resolves, like it's not going to be good.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of cards that are not good, I don't think the primary cards are a problem at all. I think they're really
I think
interesting.
I think as long as like the Odeon deck exists, like Primite or even Blue Eyes too, those cards are like they I think Drill Beam's a healthy card at this point.
Also, like, you don't play Master Duel, but like I was trying to grind through, and someone went Lordy Load, and then eventually got to a point where they're like Dark Magician, they special Dark Magician, and then they went into the Destruction Magician. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm actually 1000% cool if decks are doing that.
Yeah, like so like another thing like I remember LA regionals right earlier this year the regional winner I know Donovan shout out Donovan that guy played Primate Draco Tail and all he did was summon Dark Magician from his deck and make Dragoon.
That's hilarious. I that's super funny.
No, like it was the deck was so cool because like you have like three traps plus Drill Beam and Dragoon as like three negates.
That's awesome. Wait, that's a really
That
cool way. We got to review that one off camera. I think that one's a really cool strategy.
yeah like Primate cards unlimited.
This one is Rahu, right? Or Ketu?
No, this is
Which one is?
Ketsu. This is the good one.
Okay, yes.
So this
I
is
think
the
this card's got to go. I'm cool with the other one. This Ketu card's got to go.
yeah. Also, here's what I'll say. Um, depending on how you hit the Draco cards, because I think they're pretty fair. This card's technically ban worthy, I would think, because it's Rhoda plus Fuse going second. But the card doesn't do anything when your opponent doesn't have cards. So like it's just Rhoda, which I think is super fair. But you if for the sake of the conversation, probably ban this card.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that if a card prompts a response, regardless of going first or second, I think that card is generally
Yeah,
more
like
playable than the others.
yeah, like I think it's like ban worthy.
This is an Odeon card. I personally don't
Treasure.
see. Yeah, I personally don't see Odeon cards as a
So
problem.
so it's interesting because this deck like technically won like two YCSs or whatever, and Konami really likes this deck. But I really think for the sake of and playability, low key put this card to two.
Oh, key. This is again not a huge fan of this, but I understand.
But like I can explain myself too, because like this
Go for it.
protects your back row from like this protects your back row and stuff, and like the card is relatively searchable, right? So you could probably assume you could play this on one, but like because you have like what three Anubis and three men on the mark.
Yeah.
And then Rhoda, and then what is it? Pause. Terraforming. And this is also like one of those like once per turn search or set or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see a problem with this card at all.
I don't. I typically I don't, but like it's a reoccurring thing that sticks on every turn. So it's like I do think that like if the card sticks for the game, like you just snowball. So you having less copies technically, like I think is worth discussing because it has one on YCS. So, but I do realistically this card is probably unlimited, but like for the sake of argument, I really think this card is very good. So semi limit this.
Okay. Okay. And then I want to talk about these next two cards together because they're both Dracotoll cards. I think what is it? Malulu is already at one.
Yeah, Moon's all in one.
So are we gonna keep it at one? How
Um,
are we feeling?
so I think this is like unlike Panda Urgula, this card is like a hard non-target negate, which is I think is very good. It does lock you into Dracotail and Fusion. So like I think this card probably and if you want to ban Ketsu, put this card to three.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's totally fair in my eyes. So
But
okay.
Lucius goes to one though. And here's my logic. Um, so no, like Malulu is at three, but like Lucius is at one.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, the other way around. Yeah, yeah. This is just something I noticed about the Dracotail deck after playing it for a while now. The thing with Malulu, like unlike Lucius, it doesn't get you to two names, and then Ketsu technically gets you to two names, so it's more Lucius because you need mana access. Sure, this card's a quick fuse, But like Malulu only it strictly locks you into Draco Tail. Just
Mhm.
like Rahu, right? It just so like in the and it also costs your normal summon. Unless like, you summon it off like Hieratic Spears or whatever, if you decide to play it that way again, which you probably won't. Um um but if you lose Ketsu, right, you need the deck to be able to play some in some capacity to go second, and that's just more Dracotonians as removal, right? Lucius, on the other hand, it is bridgeable via the Magistus engine, which is going to be like a really big thing, probably post banless if what we see is true. So having the Magistus engine to supplement away the Draco Tail and the branch cards, Lucius just can be summoned off the deck.
Gotcha. Um, Herald's already banned, is it not?
It's already banned. That card is too good, bro.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's we're not gonna talk about an already banned card then.
Yeah. Case of K9. I do want to talk about this because I'm also like was a K9 player. I think this card could stay at one. It could because like the card just searches any of the K9 cards in the deck. Um, However, if you like ban Leroy, right, I think like there's a justification of putting Case to two and Joko to two, but because you need to give the deck consistency still. With even though you lost like a certain unfair advantage. But keeping those cards at one makes it so that the K9 engine is not as splashable.
Speaking of Splashable, how do we feel about Azuna? Because I also not a huge fan of this card.
So from what I know in OCG, the card's at two actually. Um, the card is really good into Draco Tail and like all hand trap decks. Um, but like in TCG, like the card is like a lot more fair than it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this earlier. I am a huge fan of in archetype stuff. I just don't like that K9 can get access to Ripper, and I think Ripper's the bigger offender. If Ripper didn't exist, I'm cool with this being at three, actually.
Yeah, like it's the same thing with Five Mana, right? Like as long like the both those decks get access to like the turn zero hand traps easily. And so like keeping Izuna at two is probably justifiable because you have less of a chance to like Zeus your opponent going second.
Yeah, yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about because every time like Izuna is the board going second or even going first, it is a problem. It is a massive problem in my eyes. Like, and I'm coming from a Master Duel perspective where I run into K9 all the time.
Yeah. So speaking of the K9 deck, Holy Sue is like the next big
And
thing. Keep that limited.
limited. Okay, again, why limited, not just banned? I think this card is super good.
um
It's too good.
I from a turn zero perspective, right? The card's insane, but we keep seeing that like this is just a sack factor now. So like it really is upsetting when you resolve chummies and like you have like the attributes to resolve Holy Sea Fire Dark. But they have to get that far to do it. But this just gives like another push for the Vanquish Soul deck to like bridge the K9, but also just like a way to win the game. Because like the problem is that if the K9 if the Vanquish Soul deck doesn't have access to removal, it's just really hard to play the deck going second into like boards. So having Holy Sue as a way to Caesar going second or is I think is like it's fine, but like keeping it at one is like super justifiable because you have to open it like in your opening five, if not draw enough chummies, which that meant that like your opponent got to start playing and have counterplay for it.
Alright, we're down to our last two cards, Daniel. How do you want to do this?
So Chessy Cat's a very interesting choice in this case because this is like the last knowledge card that like it doesn't do anything. It's just it obviously lets you draw cards, right? But like it's not like the level of Dormouse or White Rabbit. Keep that card at three.
I agree. I agree. I think if Malice is allowed to play one thing, it's probably this.
So Purge is also an interesting one. That card is just like another copy of Ash Blossom.
Yeah, but the restriction around Purge is so unique, though.
Yeah, it is very unique. It's just like if your deck gets to play both, like like especially post side when the deck comes, you have six Ash Blossoms. Like that's the reason why like what is it? OCG has Ash Blossom at two.
Yeah, OCG. Yeah, we do have Ash Blossom at two here.
So it is like the card should probably stay at three because like the restrictions on this card, the moment it resolves from your hand, like you're just locked, which is justifiable. But I do agree that like sometimes Purge is a little bit better than Impulse in some cases. So probably still keep it unlimited, but like it is up for the chopping block for upcoming lists in the future.
I disagree. I think the other Dominus cards that are coming out are way bigger offenders. Like I think Spiral and Spark, I think those cards are like worth looking at because they're in combination with these two, and I think they're going to be a bigger problem going forward. But we will have to
Yeah,
wait
I
and see for
do.
that one.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day that like you play the Odeon deck. It's all Dominus cards like in the trap lineup, and it's like you just play them from your hand. It's just like kind of crazy.
Yeah,
But like,
in OCG here, like the Labyrinth list is pretty much like you play six Song, play six Impulse, or you play two Impulse, and then you can play like Spiral and stuff, which is really
yeah, like
interesting.
this. Yeah, it is quite the thing I enjoy about like these Dominus cards is that like it forces you to warp your deck building by a lot if you want to play them kind of optimally.
Exactly. All right, Daniel, we're at the end. How do we feel about this wish list of too many cards?
I mean like this is me being trying to be unbiased as much as possible. I think we nailed it, just because like we've had this Justice Hunter format for like over since August, right? So a lot of these this is also like from Nats last year. This is also some of the pre-existing decks. I think a lot of these cards have to go, but it's justifiable. A lot of these cards can stay. Like the whole Maluz thing, I know that like that cards are one in TCG, but like if you're doing the hits that we're doing, I think that card could go back to three because it's not as powerful as Lucas or Fimena, or if not Ketu.
I am of the opinion that Justice Hunters, whether in the near future or even now, I think this is going to be one of the most beloved formats to ever come into the game. This is, to me, this is on the level of GOAT, Edison, Eternal. I think Justice Hunter format is going to be something that's always going to be played and loved.
Yeah, I think so too. This is like the best reset button we've had in years. It's like every deck was able to like play going second. They all had like a super rock paper scissors like, but they were all like all the engines were splashable and be mixed with other decks, which I think was like the most creative thing Konami has done in a really long time.
Most definitely. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back with another video, God knows when, but the fact that you guys are here and you've made it to the end, we appreciate you and we'll catch you next time.